Okay, we're ready for another best of 3 series. We're in the winner bracket semifinal of qualifier number 2. Now again, guys, the big change from qualifier 1 to qualifier number 2 is that we now have pre-bans. We have heroes that are banned for the rest of the tournament, and you can see them down there. 8 heroes are banned. This number will increase for qualifier number 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. But for the second qualifier, we have 8 heroes that are banned. You can find them down here, and obviously the same rule as usual, that heroes that have been played in the series cannot be played again. So as you can imagine, as we're heading into game number 3 in particular, and later on in the grand final, a potential number 5, things get interesting, very interesting. We have BRB questing against the Saboteurs, another best of 3, and we're starting things off on Dragonshire. Again, this is Meta Madness number 8, the second qualifier for the tournament. There's $2,000 of prize money on the line, fully financed by myself. If you guys want to support me in the stream and also make sure that we're hosting more tournaments like this in the future, you can obviously always support directly going to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's a link in the description that you can have a look at, but as people sometimes ask, that's generally the best way to support, because Patreon takes a fairly small cut compared to, let's say, Twitch. But we're heading into Dragonshire, and we have Samuro immediately banned out. It's kind of funny because we just came from a map where Samuro was played, and yeah, they obviously watched that too, and not the same players, but they were probably thinking, it was like, yeah, this is too annoying for us, we don't want to deal with that. The Saboteurs are the favorites. Clear favorites now as we're heading into this first map, questing. Well, we're in the winner bracket, by the way, so the loser goes into the lower bracket, still has a chance there. And we get Bambi in game number 1. Saboteurs were always willing to embrace the Meta Madness spirit early, so we get very early in the game Bambi. That's one of the first Lunara picks that we had in the tournament. I believe that in the first qualifier, at least, she was taken once, but now in the second, I at least haven't casted a game where Lunara was played just yet. But yeah, pretty happy about this. The tournament so far has been a blast. The first qualifier has been incredible. The second one is shaping up to be even better, at least given the results in the games that we had up to this point. We get Sylvanas and Muradin now. And I'm really intrigued and want to see how now, particularly these pre-bans are like affecting the drafts too, of course. Especially if we're getting another 4 or 5 mapper in the grand final, that would of course be awesome. But yeah, in comes Tehaka, so he gets banned. Banning only melee heroes over here. And yeah, with Dragonshire, they could go for some shenanigans again. Dragonshire is one of those maps where you have a lot of heroes really strong when you are playing with globals a little bit. You can play Abathar, you can play Vikings. I mean, it all depends on your composition, your opponents. Sylvanas on the other side makes things to an extent a bit tricky, particularly since she's paired with Lucio. So very fast rotation onto lanes would allow Sylvanas to take those down with ease, particularly if they're throwing in another hero that is good at that, let's say Greymane. One of the most annoying things on a big map that you can go up against is Sylvanas Greymane with Lucio. If your opponent is good at playing a macro game against you and you don't have a draft that makes it easy for you to respond, then you will just start losing structures all over the map because they are gonna run circles around you there. But well, let's see if they're throwing another curveball. Doesn't seem like it. Rutsu goes for Maiev. We have Urel played on the side lane. Very solid. No problems there. I'm actually always kind of surprised that people vote to ban Diablo out. So Diablo is one of the pre-bans. There is, of course, a chance that someone saves Diablo for the playoffs. The top 3 gifters on in that month that leads up to the playoffs can save a hero that they like that would otherwise be banned. But Diablo was always a bit weird to me. Like, why do people not like to see Diablo? I actually think that just viewing it, Diablo is one of the most enjoyable tanks. There are so many others that are regularly getting picked, which I find are way more of a snooze fest. But with Diablo, you get at least, you know, you get action. Like, there's something happening. He comes in, he bullies people, slams them into walls, and yeah, that's all gone now. Fat Illidan gets taken for the red team. They lock Chen in, and that leaves us with Death Knight. Final pick, and we get Stitches. Alright, let's go. Dragonshire. Second time, by the way, that Stitches gets picked on the first map. Here we go. Saboteurs against Be Right Back questing. The Saboteurs on the left side of the map with Hazorps playing Urel, Death Knight on Stitches, Dino is playing Lunara, we have Rotsu on Maiev, and Yasu is playing Rigor. The right side of the map, the red team with Guilty Spark on Lucio, Mr. Tycho on Junkrat, the real man on Murden. Yeah, that's a real man for sure. A short man, but a real man. And we got Bazarcade on Sylvanas, and Pudgenox is playing Chen. Okay, so with that, game number 1, Dragonshire. Obviously, always an interesting map. You do have a lot of control here to do your thing. And with hooks from Stitches and then slows coming from all kinds of sources, there's definitely quite a lot of stuff that you can do here. Death Knight is just saying hello. Guilty Spark is like... he's basically baiting him. Basically just saying like, alright, come in. You can hook me. And Death Knight was like, yeah, no, it's a little bit too Captain Obvious. We're not gonna do that. When I hook you, you're not gonna see it coming. You are gonna get hit hard and killed. The follow-up is... I mean, again, they got a Tether as a follow-up. They got a few... It's just not Uther Stun, Malfurion Root, or Stukov Lurking Arm. But of course, they have a Tether, they have some slows, they have Urel, they have the Totem build later from Rhaegar that can really help them with this. And you can tell that the red team, the underdog, is clearly... I don't want to say intimidated, but they're looking at this a bit more, a little bit slow on this. It's like, okay, let's take it easy. Let's make sure that Stitches is not going to get some easy hooks in and they're walking away with 2 kills in the early game. Let's try and play us a bit slower than that. So they're going for their own camp. Urel is a bit too late to interrupt here. Hazops was starting to move in for that and then had to fall back a little bit over here on the left side and now trying to take their own mercenary camp after they already got the Siege Giants a bit earlier. And the red team responds at the bot lane. So it's a fairly stable, slow approach towards the map. First objective up, creating a couple of opportunities, and down to the bottom of the map. Bambi currently doing her thing, taking this one over and trying to escort the Siege Giants in a bit more. But still all very civilized here. Nobody's really making any moves that are too aggressive. Top lane might change that now, because all of a sudden everybody is starting to move in at least a little bit, mostly because the blue team still has a mercenary camp that they're trying to get connected. Chen, okay, jumps away, gets out. They have double control even, and Bambi is moving towards the middle. Muradin is following, I just don't know if the timing works. Rhaegar gets killed, so red team is actually losing their first hero, and control has been... wriggled away from them down at the bottom of the map. So, with that, we now have Mr. Tycho taking some extra damage. But in the middle, Maiev is the one that has to prevent the Dragon Knight from being taken. And now that Lucio is also there, they need some reinforcements, which they are, to be fair, getting. And Urel is hoping at the top to re-establish control for the blue team. So the ring around of rosy games have started. Teams are looking to take control. Oh, and that is maybe even a kill. That was too close for comfort, though. Yeah, Junkrat gets out, but that could have become problematic. And there's a quick tether, and all of a sudden he gets loaded back in, then he is out. Now, either way, both of them are very interested to get the first Dragon Knight, and everybody is already starting to hop around a bit to try and see where exactly they can do damage. And since Muradin is the only one that is still available in the bot lane, Lunara takes the opportunity to get some of those structures dropped in hit points fairly quickly. So Sidewall is already gone, so they get vision there no matter what. And we're even seeing the tower itself dropping to, what is this, third, 25% of the hit points. And the rotation in the middle makes it possible for them to basically try and do the same thing here as well. Level 7 talents by now. That gives us the serrated edge. We now also have the divine steed in. And with that also the choke-in pollen, as Fat Illidan at the top lane is currently reigning supreme against Urel. Particularly with the assistance that they're getting. So Hazops is in trouble. And with trouble, I mean, he's about to die if he's not careful. Chen, yep, there it is. Feet first, straight into her face. And goodbye, old man. Hazops is gone. And that is the second kill for the red team. Be right back questing is currently looking pretty okay. Especially, of course, since at the top lane they have now 2 heroes that are uncontested. Well, now Rhaegar's here, but they were able to take one of the towers down. They're now also taking the gate apart, and they might be able to take tower number 2 as well. So that's a pretty nice push that they got, thanks to the kill against Urel. So the Saboteurs, I don't want to say struggle, it's too early in the game to say that, but they will probably have to fight a bit more for that win than I expected. I really thought heading into this that there would be a huge advantage for the Saboteurs, and that would be more of a question of yeah, how exactly are the boys in red fighting back on this one. But currently there's a bit of a different picture that we're seeing here. Very nice attempts are being made by the team in red, and we'll see how far this goes. Personally, there is a good chance, I believe, that once we're heading level 10, things are going to escalate a little bit more quickly, and the blue team is starting to just synergize on their ults and get some hooks in, get some gorges in, maybe even, assuming that Death Knight is going to go for that, and then they have a chance there, but yeah, time will tell. Seems like we have a bit of a pause going on. Doesn't really seem like anybody dropped, but I guess some issues with voice, that's usually what it is. Or somebody just like killed their keyboard. That's obviously also always a possibility. Maybe you have a cat and the cat peed on the keyboard or something. The keyboard doesn't work. You have to kick the cat out of the room and clean your keyboard. Stranger things have happened. As always, I mean, what time is it right now? 7:30. I mean, it's nearly time for food. Somebody dropped over here. The question is just simply if it's voluntarily, you know? Maybe like somebody's coming in like, food's ready! But Mom, I'm playing! I don't give a shit! I don't know. I don't know what kind of family that is, but hey, we've seen it all. So, Sylvana's actually dropped, so we're gonna get her back. 2 kills to 0. Let's take a quick look at the damage here too. I mean, again, with the help of Sylvanas, they were able to take some of the towers down up at the top. We now have 9.3 thousand for Chen. Not really a lot of fighting happening, honestly. I mean, we saw 2 kills, but yeah, generally, when you think about it, Urel was caught off guard at the top, so the rotation was something she didn't see coming, and then Hazu died quickly. And then later on, we had the situation going, or earlier than that actually. The 1 kill, I believe it was against Rhaegar, yeah. So now it's only like 10,000 damage, is top damage already in the game. So really, really early. But yeah, here it is. 10k for Lunara. Nobody getting a Dragonite yet, which by the way is a little bit of a refreshing move considering that the last 2 times we saw Dragonshire, I believe the first objective was taken like before the 3-minute mark. So now this is a bit more serious here, but here's level 10. So yes, we get the Thornwood Vines, we have Gorge, we get the Disc. No big surprises, but now opportunities for sure for Stitches to follow up with a decent hook there. On the other side, of course, it's the top kick plays again. We're also looking at high 5. So there's a couple of plays that they can make, for sure. But yeah, over on the left side, camps, gotta get them all. These things are like Pokemon. Muradin was about to channel, I was interrupted by the minion. Hero minion right there. Harry the hero minion. Interrupts the opponent, but yeah, it's also a retake up at the top. Jungle's still down at the bottom of the map, it's only Stitches there. But they go for the fights. We haven't seen big 5 versus 5 battles yet. But Urel, Hazu, is he in trouble again? Doesn't have to ult out or anything. And yeah, the cake play from Chen. I mean, it starts already the fact that he just went for the wrong skin there. Warmaster Chen, black-white tint, that's the one to go for, my friend. This isn't bad, don't get me wrong. You get a B. You get a B. Maybe an A minus. But we all know what the best tint and skin combo really is for the Panda. Pandemonium. So... But, okay. Looks like we're going to get a bit of a chase there. Hook, Gorge, and the Dragonite. Alright, Hook, Gorge, and Decay. And where's that butt kick that she deserves? There it is. Back to safety. Alright. So, another hook, and maybe this time they can get a kill. Maiev is coming in, and Gildy Spark still gets out. It doesn't change the fact that they still got the Dragonite. It's kind of funny that he's in the middle of the fort and the towers now. Rhaegar, what are you doing? Is that the first DK that you have in your life? What are you doing? I mean, full-on Sudoku move by him. Wastes it all. Nah, not quite. They still get some value out of the Dragon's Breath here. But yeah, first objective is taken. The walls are already opened up, and I don't think they're going to get a fort out of this one. But yeah, another hook. No Gorge available, but a bit of free damage for Lunara as he goes straight for the keg place. And yeah, careful, my friend. Maiev gets killed though. Okay, so Maiev gets taken down. Got the disc out first. Not that they can do anything outside of that yet, but yeah. Honestly, it's a little bit of a fragmented game, isn't it? 3 kills to 0. The kills are only going one way right now. I mean, only one way. Down at the bot lane, we get Sylvanas pushing this out. Eventually, the Saboteurs will have to get some kills. In the early game, it doesn't really matter too much because the death timers are low. But as we are entering the mid game, you kind of want to make sure that you also do a little bit of the killing and not all of the dying, because, yeah, that gives your opponent way too much time on the map alone. So, yeah, there's a chance for that right now. The hook, only nibbling on the edges a bit. We got the bronze, be it Rage in. Junkrat hasn't made a choice yet. But I still want to give some credit to Be Right Back Questing. They are looking better than expected here. I really gotta say, I feel a little bit sorry because I guess I underestimated them. And they are still the underdog, despite the fact that they're leading in kills. But this is still a better performance than I anticipated, because since both of these teams had a bit of a break before we headed into this, I don't know, I kind of expected the Saboteurs to come out swinging and go super aggressive and try and get these kills. But instead, we're seeing some, yeah, pretty good moves from the red team in an attempt to also get structures destroyed, particularly around Sylvanas. But of course, the blue team is still slightly ahead. Not in kills, but they've destroyed a few more structures. Second Dragon Knight is coming up. So far, it's really slow paced here. And Death Knight looks at another hook. Yeah, and Junkrat dodges it. Good for him. Yeah, these can be nasty. If you're not paying attention, then you might fall super quickly. You think yourself safe, and all of a sudden that hook comes out of nowhere, and that is just lights out. But then again, there's the Riptire. Junkrat gone. Finally a first kill for the blue team. And they might follow it up with a second one. They got some tethers going. Yeah, my F wants to help out, but nah, can't really do anything here. So again, they tried, weren't quite able to get the kills connected. But, well, maybe now they have another chance. So, yep, there's the chance right there. They get Lucio, they get Sylvanas, and that's all of a sudden a double kill. So now we're looking at 3 kills in total, and they can follow up on this very easily with a fort that they can destroy now too. So things are starting to look much, much better for them here. Now, this comes at a bit of a cost because at the top lane, Chen was left alone and used that chance to get some more destroyed here. I mean, nothing insane. He took some of the hit points out, but it wasn't too crazy. So, yeah. But again, generally speaking, we have them with 3 kills to 3. So the Saboteurs are slowly starting to take a bit more control of this game. The second objective is obviously now also on the map, so there's still a chance to go for another Dragon Knight, and both teams would love nothing more than get a bit of an upper hand now on the structures there. Let's see if they can do any of that. Doesn't seem like it just yet. Maybe now control for the blue team on both. Yeah, they have the mid lane also more or less under control. Not 100%, but yep, Chen has to hightail it out, but Lucio, thankfully for them, was able to reclaim position down at the bottom of the map, so he's retaking, and with that, they're now fine to delay this a bit further. The question is just for how long. I mean, eventually they need to make a move, and if Hazu delays just Muradin at the top, if he jumps over, nah, he actually does. He's willing to potentially sacrifice his life for this, because now 3 heroes are going up against him, and they get the Dragon Knight. So Hazu gets out, he bought enough time for them, and they are able to get another DK. That is the second one now. They have a 1.5 level lead, by the way. It's even kills, but they've pulled ahead by 1.5. So, yeah. Looking extremely good on this all of a sudden. Yeah. Great job here. Really well done. With that, they should be able to now not only... I mean, they should be able to open that wall up at least. And since they're also having 2 heroes up at the top side, I guess the bot lane push is not going to be as dangerous, but they're allowing the minions to now go for the fort at the top. Sylvanas is trying to help out here. Stitches is coming. Okay, could go for Gorge. Does immediately. But can they lock Sylvanas down long enough? They are attacking on 2 fronts now, and Sylvanas is in a bit of trouble, actually. Is still able to make her way out of the fight. And Rhaegar, careful my friend, has to self-ancestral as they're turning it again. This time going for Lucio. He's nearly gone, but still able to escape. And Parch knocks on Chen. He's the real problem right now. He gets killed, so does Lucio. The entire thing just explodes all of a sudden. That situation was already a bit dicey to begin with, and then it went full out of control. They lose all 3 heroes here. 6 kills, 2-3. And with that, of course, the chance to go for the top fort down to the bottom of the map. They opened indeed the entire wall up, so that at least happened. Dragon Knight got some value. And of course, pinned some heroes down at the bot lane, which made this entire play at the top lane a lot easier. But you can tell that now this is slowly starting to fall apart a bit for Be Right Back Questing. The Gavin experience alone is just rough. It's really rough. 36,000 damage is top damage in the game now for Lunara. Follow-up would be on their end, Maiev with 20. Sylvanas on 29,000 and Chen on 26k, the top damage dealers for the red team. And down at the bot lane, they can now slowly also start to pick away at some of these keeps. Level 20 talents, I mean, make it possible, and particularly when you're talking about Lunara. Lunara now has Forest Wrath, so she can line that up the entire time and can poke it down slowly, steadily, one hit after another. Get a couple of auto attacks connected as long as she's not going too deep and gets caught by Junkrat, for example, or by Chen. They're going to be totally fine here. But yeah, the keep takes damage, and sieging up here makes perfect sense. Talk about sieging up, that's an interesting use of the kick. Not even trying to kill a hero, just trying to get rid of the siege giants. On the one hand, it's kind of funny, but it's also interesting. It's kind of cool. It's like, yeah, those siege giants, we need to get rid of them. It's like, all right, guys, I got it. Yeah, second one is still standing with, yeah, okay. Forget what I said. Was standing for much longer than expected, but yeah, Lunara gets 1 hit in, 2 hits, has to be careful with Muradin. But it doesn't change the fact that this keep is under serious pressure and there's still 1.5 levels. And of course, if you take too much poke from Lunara and she gets you low, then eventually they're just going to collapse onto whoever the target is and going to take it down. But yeah, you can see it here. This keep is going to fall. Unless somebody shits the bed and gets caught and killed on the blue team side, they are going to go for this. And Death Knight, well, he gets caught for a second, but I think even he might escape here. Yeah, well, he's getting body blocked again. Second Ancestral, and they kill him. Nice. But I guess that's also going to happen to Sylvanas now, at least. Dino is on... Well, you can't say that running. Dino is on the hop, and Rhaegar is also gone. Be Right Back Questing, again, pleasantly surprised. They saved the keep. They saved the keep. Lucio, yeah, I'm sorry, dude, but just no, Lucio, it's not happening. Yeah, he was wrong place, wrong time. Way too far off from the rest of the team. Got caught there, just a tiny little bit, I'd say, and no chance for him. Okay, so 20-20, at least they have even talents. But I gotta give some credit to the red team for, you know, keeping their keep. Now, on the flip side, they haven't taken a single fort out, and that is a problem, obviously. So, yeah, if you haven't taken a single fort, then... yeah, eventually you're going to run into some real big trouble. AKA catapults are going to absolutely murder your base. So if they want to have a chance to come back here, then now that they have level 20 talents and even talents with the opponent's team, they got to do something about it, right? So they got to find some openings. And this is a good first step. Come in, try and take the fort out. The rotation is there though, so Chen, he can always kick away. They didn't get the entire thing, but this also forced the rotation from the blue team towards the top, and now that the Saboteurs are here, it means Sylvanas at the bottom of the map can defend easily. Yeah, quick ult, low cooldown, 50-second cooldown, not really a problem. Sylvanas was able to take down the bottom mercenary camp. First of all, of course, the bruiser camp, but now also the siege giants. And that wouldn't have been possible that easily if not for the attack at the top. So, good move to lure the Saboteurs topside. Next objective. I mean, again, if Questing gets it, that would be kind of sweet. But we'll have to see. Right now it's more about trying to get a couple of camps and a bit of map control. Chen has gone with a Purifying Brew. just in general about his build. So he went into enough to share the combo strikes and then Purifying Brew on level 20. We have also for Muradin Rewind and for Lucio the Summer Anthem. Still at leading XP. I mean, at this point, it's not really that important any longer. It just gives you a bit of a stats advantage, which again is impactful, but it's not going to be the big deal. Now that everybody's on level 20, that's fine. Muradin, by the way, and Lunara are the only ones that haven't died yet in this entire game yet. So one on each side. Sylvanas is just on guard duty. She's just moving from one lane to another and starts to take down mercenary camps and minion waves. The hooks are always trying to scratch them a little bit, but Stitches hasn't really hit a big one there. Could go for Gorge now, I guess, to eat his way out of the fight. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, missed an opportunity to go for Hungry Stitches. Went into the Master Hooker. Boring! But hits this one and the Gorge. Is this going to be the first time that Muradin falls? Well, maybe. Hops out, gets tethered back in, but not... yeah, he's on the right side of the gate, so good for him. Fight isn't just over yet. Stitches is also going to have his hook back in another second, so could try and go for another move here. And Junkrat is just nading everything. Like, nades everywhere. Again, Ancestral is already out, and they get the kill on Sylvanas. Ancestral keeps everyone alive. Sylvanas is gone. Muradin escapes somehow. Chen, he's also trying to make it out of the fight, but he just can't, and that's going to be another Dragonite. Does he get it? Oh, Muradin was so close. Muradin was so close, but Stitches has it. So that's another Dragonite for the blue team. And now this should result in the first keep falling. Damage-wise, Sylvanas has now fallen behind. Lunara is taking more than over. Sylvanas isn't even highest damage on her own team any longer. It is Junkrat. So, yep, that's the bottom keep gone. Dragonite goes for the core, and the rest of the team is still chasing, trying to get additional kills. Maiev is right there, has a front seat to all the action. They kill Lucio, they disc Muradin, and now, of course, the core is going to fall. And, well, yeah, that is the lead in this best-of-3 series here at the winner bracket semifinal. The Saboteurs, they're going to take the first map. They take the W on Dragonshire as they defeat Be Right Back Questing. GG. Alright guys, we're jumping into the next match in just a second, but before we do that, you might be familiar with Holzcan, one of the sponsors that we have on the channel. Been working with them now for a couple of months and I'm a huge fan of their products. Now, you have some absolutely insane discounts currently on their website. Usually we already have a 15% discount, now they're going way beyond that, and you guys should definitely take advantage of that. Always assuming, of course, that you want to get either something for yourself or a loved one, or just are looking for additional Christmas presents. The cool thing is also that you're actually supporting the channel directly by just simply clicking the link in the description. So that's essentially all that you got to do there. And as I've already spoken about multiple times in the past, absolutely love their designs. I have multiple watches from them by now myself. I want a pair of sunglasses, shopped for those online too, which I usually really never do. But again, if you haven't checked them out, click the link in the description. It supports the stream, so even just taking the 2-3 seconds to click the link is already helpful. But as I said, I love their stuff, and if you haven't gotten all your Christmas presents yet, you should definitely take a look, because now with Black Friday and also Christmas, they have a few weeks where there are just incredible discounts and really good things if you haven't gotten anything for yourself yet. So with that, thank you very much, and we're going to jump into the next match. Garden of Terror, map number 2, Saboteurs in the lead, and now we have 18 heroes unavailable, 10 not playable anymore because they were played in game number 1, and of course then the 8 pre-bans. The map was actually chosen by Be Right Back Questing, so interestingly enough, as they lost the last one, they they now went for Garden of Terror, and of course the first thing that happens is that Samuro gets banned. I mean, rule of thumb, if you ban Samuro against an opponent when you're playing on Dragonshire, you also want to ban the same hero when you're going up against them on Garden of Terror. Just as a bit of a side note. So yes, Samuro is getting banned again, so does Sergeant Hammer. And since they went for map, I kind of want to know what they are looking for here. Since this is Meta Madness, you could play some crazy stuff. Are we going to get some Nazebo in an attempt to get him into the late game, for example? Is that going to be a thing? Or what's the thought process? And I guess the Saboteurs are waiting here too. Okay, they ban out Dehaka. Would have been a nice pick for them as well. One of the best heroes that you can pick on the map, of course, has been pre-banned. You can't take Hogger. So he would have just gone from lane to lane, and more importantly from mercenary camp to mercenary camp. Vikings get banned. I mean, it's an interesting one, right? Because the red team comes in, they're saying like, yes, this map favors certain heroes that we are uncomfortable going up against because we know that, for example, Hazops is really good at them. So, yeah. With that, we'll have to see what exactly they are that they themselves are trying to do here. There has to be some thought process behind this. Okay, so Abathar gets taken very early. So he's in the house. We get the Slug as a first pick even. I'm not quite sure if the red team was really thinking about getting him for themselves. But either way, this is obviously already interesting. Also, the Saboteurs have a little bit of a tendency to go for, I don't want to say trolley drafts, but drafts that fully embrace the Meta Madness spirit in game number 2. So that's a chance. Greymane and Kharazim as the first 2 picks. Okay. Alright. Those are both really nice targets for Abathar. So I guess they're taking them away here. But there's still plenty to go around. They could drop an Illidan on us.
The wait is over.
I like Tyrael. But again, I would not be shocked to see Illidan. Gives you a pseudo global, it's a big map, against camps, can go for structures. So yeah, there's quite a bit that he can do. What are they banning out now? I'm currently also thinking about a few more of the heroes that were being played in game number 1. I mean, if you pick the map, you have something in mind. At least I always hope so. Kerrigan gets banned, alright. If they would have banned Tigers here, I would have started to suspect that they're going for some Cho'Gall things or something like that. Because Kharazim, Greymane, really good against that. Leo banned might have triggered that a bit too. But yeah, so they're not taking any of these away. They ban Kerrigan instead, now that they're seeing Tyrael played with Sanctification, Symbiote on Kerrigan. She can of course be an absolute monster there. But I'm still looking towards the red team and I want to see what exactly the game plan is. With the Nubarak banned, the Saboteurs obviously expecting to go for some kind of like aggressive comp to dive in, follow with Greymane, Kharazim, everybody jumps together and they're going on isolated target and take it down. But what's the picks here now? Is that just going to be a normal, more or less normal comp? Or is it going to be really a curveball thrown eventually? Artanis and ETC! Okay, so they're giving themselves a handicap now. Artanis is in. Even though I have to admit that Dino obviously likes to play Artanis. And if you have Abathar, then yeah, that can be really annoying. Artanis Abathar is tough to kill. After level 13 in particular, and the Abathar support, that can be a bit of a problem. But now Hazu, Rutsu, Malfury and Sonya. Fairly straightforward here. Nothing crazy. So, that leaves us with one final pick. I don't know, I don't see it right now. Even the ETC pick seems a little bit sus to me. Highly suspect. Because, well, suspicious. Because right now, I mean, what are you going to do? Stage dive? You're going to global it up a little bit? Try and flatten Abathar? Go for a pancake play? Superhero landing and crush him? Could try and do it. Li Ming as the final pick. Alright, Li Ming, Greymane. Fairly normal. We'll see. Gun of Terror, everybody. Game number 2. So, we'll find out if they can force the third map. Or if the Saboteurs now close this one out with the 2-0. Let's jump straight in. Gun of Terror. The second map in the best of 3 series, and a chance for the Saboteurs to move on to the winner bracket final. We got Hazops on Sonya, Death Knight on Tyrael, Yasuo on Malfurion, Dino on Cassia, and Rutsu is playing Abathar. Mr. Tycho for the red team for Be Right Back questing with Greymane. We have Guilty Spark on Kharazim, Pudgenox on Artanis, Bazarcade on ETC, and the real man is playing Li Ming. Okay, stage is set. We have a big map to play around with. And now the big question, which team is going to claim a victory? Are we going to go for 2-0? Or is it instead going to be another 3-mapper here, the second qualifier of Meta Madness? Amateur opponent as the level 1 talent. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with the garden terrors and also, of course, all of the mercenary camps that you might run into. And on top of that, we now have charge strikes, we got the furious blow. And the fact still that with Abathur, the blue team, at least in the earlier stages, has to be a bit cautious. You got to be a little bit careful with this. Got to make sure that you're not going overboard too much with things. What I basically mean with this, you always miss that hit point pool. So you got to be a bit careful how you play this one out until you have the copy on level 10. But given the fact that they have some really nice targets for the symbiote, they should be able to do a lot with this as well. So Pachinox at the top, for example, is already forced to start tapping at the fountain. And down at the bottom of the map, I would expect that we're going to see some pretty nice plays also being executed soon. TM from the red team, from the blue team too, just like trying to break through here. They can always symbiote, for example, Tyrael when they want to dive a bit deeper and attack someone in the back line. Attacks like this, on the other hand, is exactly what the red team needs if they want to bring this back and turn the game around. And that might be a little bit too much. So they're actually diving in, trying to steal the camp away here. But this could be fought for. And Cassia is coming. No, they got the time. They got enough time to take it, and they steal it away. That's how you get the maximum for your money right there. So they were able to not only get a kill, but then also follow up on the kill by stealing the opponent's bruiser camp away while siege giants are pushing for them. That bot lane is in real trouble all of a sudden. Well done. Yeah, be right back questing with a pretty cool move at the bottom of the map. And they get Tyrael too. What? Okay. Saboteurs might have gotten a little bit too confident after the previous one. I mean, damn. So, yeah, that's quite something. Quite the opening into the game now for the red team. Get the fort not destroyed, but down to 25% or 20%. So yeah, well done. 2 kills to 0. The only problem with all of this is really that it's a bit reminiscent of what happened in game number 1. And I really think that for a team like the Saboteurs in particular, as level 10 comes in, they're gonna get just stronger there. They're gonna be able to do more with heroic abilities and sync all of this up. So I think this is the biggest problem that the red team has right now. The early game so far has been going really well, but I'm more so worried about what's going on after level 10 is in the hands of the blue team. And if up to the point where level 10 is available, they don't fall too far behind, I just think it's going to be pretty tricky and not easy at all for the red team to make anything happen here. It would be a bit of a different story if they can rush the objective a few times and, for example, force a fight around the third one without level 10 being available for the blue team. But I just don't see that happening. And considering that there were already a few interrupts against them here and another one is happening now, I don't see that being a thing. So, ooh, nice dodge also on the power slide. Wow, Death Knight, good job. Yeah, this one still hits, but they are now in a decent spot. I mean, first of all, the red team would have to deny C to them in the first place, which is definitely possible. Again, it's technically in fights a 4 versus 5, as long as Abathur doesn't have a copy. After that, you can also get an additional hit point bar into battles. But we also have now Li Ming again going for this mass damage build with, I suppose, glass cannon later. And I am still not a fan of this build. I understand it a bit more in Battlefield of Eternity, where you can poke against the Immortal and you have a target that doesn't move, so you can get more value out of Seeker. I have some understanding why people would go for it if they see Varian for... No, that was a nice one. If they have Varian, because you can go for Taunt, you just follow up with additional roots and stuff, and then you have an easier time connecting Seeker and getting that damage connected. But, I don't know. Generally speaking, not really a big fan, particularly with the build that they're playing here, or with the team composition that they're using, and the opponents that are going up against. I just don't see how this is going to be a winning build for Li Ming over proper Calamity, particularly with everybody diving in anyways. So, we'll see how it turns out for them. but I will remain skeptical. Battlefield of Eternity again, bit of a different story. I can see the argument there. Here, I would have to be convinced, and we'll see if Liming can actually make that happen. But yeah, we got a kill against 2, leading experience. So blue team has started to pull ahead a little bit. Particularly Sonya. Hazobs is just waiting for someone to fall into his little trap over here, and gets immediately big damage on. He's actually gonna go for it, isn't he? I was about to say, wow. Okay. I was honestly just expecting him to hammer him down to 50%. And then, yeah, just let that slide for now. But instead what we're getting is him getting a Greymane kill thanks to Abyssar. And that forces now Atanas towards the top. That top lane is in real trouble, so might be Hazu, but nah, he's still alright. Okay, so he gets out. Down at the bottom of the map, there's the copy from Abyssar. ETC goes down. And yeah, they got heroic abilities, the red team doesn't, so these fights here will go as expected up to the point where Be Right Back Questing is picking up their own heroic abilities, but that's now Karazim caught by Cassia and killed. Great ult again, that's 4 kills to 2, and of course this gap in experience has just now been widened, and it also allowed them to go for the fort at the bottom of the map, so this one has been destroyed. There's 2 tributes, 2 seeds now for Be Right Back Questing. But Hazu should still be fine here. Can Greymane? Nah, Greymane cannot get the kill. Well, Liming might, and yeah, Greymane does at the end. Okay, so they overchase this just slightly. Now Liming still wants to go for a fight, has gone for the wave of force here, but goes down obviously. For me personally, it's actually curious what's going to happen around level 13, because given the build, I kind of expect Glass Cannon here, and I don't think that Glass Cannon is in any way, shape or form going to work out. If she goes for Glass Cannon, she's going to get absolutely crushed. With Abyssar head on Tyrael or Sonya as they jump in, I just don't see her survive there. I mean, happy to be proven wrong, but I just don't see it. Damage 18,000 to 19,000. Cassia and Liming, top damage for the respective teams. No shock there. If anything, Abyssar and Sonya, they're doing a real nice amount of damage as well. And are looking great on this one. So yeah, good for them too. We have, with this now, yeah, Sonya still all the way up at the top getting camps, as she should. I mean, again, Garden of Terror is a massive map. Mercenary camps are highly important here. The more you get, the more pressure you put onto the lanes. The more you put pressure onto your opponents and force them back, so each team is super interested to get them as quickly as they can, or steal a few away on the other side. With 2 seats already under the control of the red team, they were totally willing to let this one go. They're not willing to let the camp go though. So yeah, but they have to abandon it. It's only 2 heroes here. So this is exactly, it's not exactly, but it's a bit of a reversal of what we've seen earlier. Now the camp gets stolen away by the Saboteurs, and they have now set up a very, very convenient push at the bottom of the map with a double camp, which is of course always neat when you can make that happen. Very early ult now also from Atanas in order to try and prevent this. We get Palm, by the way, from Karazim, in case you haven't seen it yet. Another great Valkyrie. Beautiful follow-up, but also a nice Palm, but he still is gonna die. The follow-up from Malfurion first was awesome, and then the Palm play, really good save. But they still lost ETC, so they burned some cooldowns, they lost that. Atanas is pushing up at the top and will likely take that fort out, but it's going to cost them a keep at the bottom. Yeah, and they are even going core now, aren't they? They're trying to poke against it and see what they can do, as long as they have siege giants here as well. And Atanas hasn't moved back yet. So Atanas has actually destroyed the fort at the top. I don't know if they can really end here, but they can definitely do a lot of damage, and they're doing exactly that. Now they have the Sanctification out. Tyrael Explosion takes another 5% off. Let's not forget about that. So if they have to suicide onto the core but still do enough damage, he might be able to end it here. For that he has to be close enough though, but he might get the explosion kill. Yeah, the Palm saving the day, but Atanas is dead and that core is at 54%. I mean, that's absolutely worth it here. 13 is in on both sides. We have, okay, Liming decided that Glass Cannon is a really dumb idea. and has gone into Illusionist. I'm not sure if it's going to matter though, because their core is now down at 30% and the party just continues. So Hazorb, spin to win, core at 24. They're going to get it, aren't they? Of course they're going to get it. They're going in and they're going to take it down. Slam, bam, and that is it. 2-0. Nicely done. The Saboteurs with the victory, ladies and gentlemen, as they move on to the winner bracket final.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.